Hey, welcome back to another episode of Fuzzy Memories from the Road with Brandy Green and
I'm Dustin, Pari. And who do we have joining us today, Ms. Green?
And today we have a special guest that says he's not getting paid enough for this appearance. This is Winston.
He's a Pomeranian, right?
He's like looking at me like, what did you just do?
He's on The Perfect Show. I mean, we never got paid enough either, so it works right out for him.
It's really true. The funny thing is he actually has like this fan base that is pretty hilarious. Like he actually did a paw print on one of the autographs.
Nice.
Someone requested from me. It was really funny.
That's great.
So this episode of GHI was called Skeleton in the Closet. Mm-hmm. And it was a two-part episode. So the first location is where the GHI name for the episode came from, Cesky Krumlov in the Czech Republic.
Right. I like the Czech Republic quite a bit. I thought it was a nice part of the world to visit. Like it was very enjoyable, I thought, when I was there. I felt like the city was a little weird looking, but like the people were pretty chill.
Yeah. It really was an odd place. Like, this is the same town. So Cesky Krumlov is the same town that they filmed the movie Hostel in.
Yeah.
And it really did have that vibe. Like, if you went out at night, you probably would never, like, come back.
I remember hanging out during the daytime. Like, there was a nice, like, big old stone bridge. I remember going there and taking pictures. And then there was a little, like, valley. It was just like in the city, but this little park. A little valley, and I remember like sitting under a tree and reading a book and just hanging out that day. There was like a river or something, so that was okay. But yeah, I don't think nighttime was the right time for Cesky Krumlov.
No, I mean, what was cool, what I remember is, so this location, it just so happened to be the week that we were there. My birthday was during our time there, and so we ended up we utilized my birthday for the investigation, which, I mean, you couldn't have planned that any better, I don't think.
Right. It was like a Singapore theory thing, right? We were doing like a Singapore theory type effect because of something with parties there or something?
Right. So this castle complex, Cesky Krumlov Castle, it's like huge. I can't remember exactly how big it is, but it's like basically the whole town is within this castle. Super old, many layers to it. And one of the claims was that there was a baroness that had died there, and she loved to put on these lavish parties. And so you guys, or whoever, production, whoever it was, decided to utilize my birthday as an excuse to throw a party and see if we could get any paranormal activity off of it.
I dare say I don't think it was quite lavish enough for the Baroness, for sure. Or even for yourself, really. I think you deserve better than what we had. It's like a store-bought cake and some balloons or something.
That cake, I don't know where they found it.
You never liked anything that was, like, you never liked any food anywhere, though.
I know, but it was supposed to be like chocolate, I think, but it tasted like they got it from the river.
Yeah, it was like mud. It was really bad.
It really was.
And I love cake, but I remember it being really bad.
It was really bad, but I was legitimately surprised. I had no idea. I remember you and I were investigating at the time, and because it's such an expansive castle complex, like we had just walked, like it felt like miles, and then you got radioed for us to like go all the way back to where we started from, and we were like, well, I don't know.
You didn't want to go. I know you didn't want to go, and I'm like, oh, it's like the setup is never easy, you know? Ugh.
Yeah, so I was definitely surprised. I think that was one of the only times like anyone ever saw any of us eat anything on camera.
Right. Yeah. There was a time like Barry was making a stew and we were supposed to eat it on camera, but I don't think that ever happened.
Yeah, that was actually this episode, the back end of this
Oh,
episode
was
at
that
Rathlin
on the
Island.
island? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
I think he was gonna make us a full Irish breakfast.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and we like filmed this whole thing and I don't think it ever made air.
Nope. Just like the wine outings, just nope. You get to see us eat cake. That's it.
Right, and just like my birthday, so my birthday turned into like the birthday week because it played into the storyline. I think I turned like 23 or something, 24, and so like I was turning 24 like every single day. Um,
Gonna keep it consistent.
yeah. So this location, our client was this blonde lady. Can't remember her name, but she was the wife of this guy who would later be another client we had at another location in the Czech Republic. And so, and they had a dog too, but the dog didn't come into play in this episode.
No. He shows up in the other one though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Indeed.
I remember that one.
I know. Good stories to come, kids. This is foreshadowing. Make sure you stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So super big place. Kind of all I remember of this location though, besides my birthday, was the fact that they had this skeleton that they claimed was a saint, and yet they had it like kept away in a linen closet.
Yeah. It was in like a glass like display case, but in like in a supply closet off to the side. And I remember our producer, our director Dave was like, he was telling me like he didn't want to tell me what was there. He's like, you're gonna be really excited about this. You're gonna really like this. And then the reveal, and I'm like, I don't want to investigate this. Like, you know, being a Christian and stuff, I'm like, if this really was a saint, this feels kind of sacrilegious. And like, I remember I was there. I think I was with Joe and Barry, I want to say at the time. Joe Chin was with us here, right?
Yep, he was.
So I think the two of them asked some questions, and I just waited outside or something. But it's just weird. It's like, here's some human remains. They must be like haunted. Like, why?
Right. I remember I investigated it with Joe because kind of no one else really wanted to do it. Right. And so he and
but you have that black godless soul, so it was fine.
It was weird though, like even forget about the saint thing, you know, just human remains in a linen closet.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had human remains in walls,
right.
in cases and display cases.
Right. But out where everybody could see them, not like tucked away. Tucked
away with like the folded dinner napkins.
Yeah, the linens, the table linens, all that stuff was in there. Just weird. You live your whole life and then like you rest in peace next to like an ironing board. Like, this is not the way to go. And you're supposedly a saint. You'd think you'd get something.
Right. So I remember this place did have like a church or a chapel because there was some tie-in to, that's kind of what the whole tie-in was with this supposed saint. And I think they had like a drawbridge here.
Oh yeah, it had a weird moat. Like, weren't they supposed to have like bears or something, right?
Right. So I think I remember like originally they kept giant like grizzly bears or something instead of water. They had bear.
Yeah, bears in a pit.
Only in the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
That's a very different way to secure your castle, I guess.
Yeah.
Bear pit.
Throw them to the bear.
Weird.
But I mean, I don't really remember anything paranormal happening here. I think that you know, we may have come up with like a couple possible EVPs or something, but I don't think it was enough to like
Yeah.
warrant to haunt it.
No. Some scratchy EVPs, stories about bears, a saint in a closet, and Brandy's forever birthday. It was like Groundhog Day, but it was your birthday.
It was. I also remember like off camera one night we went, I don't know if you went with us, but a lot of the cast and most of the crew went out to like this weird underground like bar that they had in the city. And they had like this
Not go.
foosball table and whatever, but it was a weird like it was like a it looked like a dungeon in a castle. It was super weird.
Yeah, I did not go there. I just probably stayed in my room,
Yeah,
drank wine, watched TV.
probably for the best,
Probably,
honestly.
but indeed. And this is something too. I think a lot of people don't know, like the fact that it was your birthday for like 3 nights of filming, right?
Hmm.
Like we always have to wear the same clothes, and it's not like they gave us a bunch of wardrobe. You're required to wear something with GHI on it, be it a jacket, a hat, or a shirt, whatever. But you have to wear the same stuff every day. And as we've mentioned in other episodes, it's not always like laundry facilities, like never at the hotel and hardly ever like close by in town. And they never gave us a car. So we had to walk places with our laundry all the time. And most of the time you end up just doing it in the sink because you don't have any other option. And like
Yeah.
every day it's the same soggy, wet. Like I remember putting clothes on my heater in my hotel room to try to keep it warm, like to dry it.
Or, you know, like some of the crew and cast just stunk all the time because they didn't take the time to
Yeah.
try to wash any clothes.
I tried. I tried.
Oh, I know you
Tried
did.
to.
I remember, I think we talked about it at the Kambukita location when you washed your clothes and you had to hang your pants outside of your balcony.
Yep. Indeed. Yep. What are you gonna do? You gotta do something somewhere.
You
It's
do,
awful.
yeah. I mean, it definitely was never glamorous
No,
at
not in
all.
the least. Not in the least.
Yes, I
But
mean,
yeah.
unfortunately, I don't really remember a ton from Cesky Krumlov other than it was the same city they filmed Hostel in. The cake was absolutely rancid, not haunted. Um, and oh, they did have they had this is the place that they had the like haunted theater, and they filmed another movie there. It came out in like the early 2000s, like The Prestige, the movie The Prestige. They filmed it there. It was like
Oh
some
yeah.
magician one or something, and
Oh,
they
that's
filmed.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's right. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that.
yep. So it's
Indeed.
weird because it's like this little town that no one has heard of, but they actually filmed like a lot of movies and stuff
Yeah.
there.
I remember the architecture and stuff in the city was great, but it definitely had like that weird medieval style to it, like a creepy vibe, you know?
Yeah, like you're going to be kidnapped and tortured in
Yeah.
a basement and disappear.
So what better place for you to celebrate your birthday all week? Perfect.
Yay!
So that was
Uh,
a non-haunted location, as far as we deemed it, at least. For our
yeah,
time.
I don't really think anything happened there.
No.
Nope.
But then we went, and then I remember getting to the next location was like a 2-day journey, right? Like, I mean, not just,
Yeah.
we got to Ireland, but then we were supposed to go over to Rathlin Island, and the sea was so bad that they wouldn't let us go on the boats the first day.
No.
And
No.
the
We
second
had
day wasn't much better. I remember, oh, wait, so the first night that we try, and they make us stay at this little hotel on land, and you can see like Rathlin Island from the land. It's not that far away, but just the water's bad. And I remember in this small hotel they just put us up in, and I remember the girl at the front desk telling me, so excited, she was like giggling that she gave me the haunted room. And I'm like, I just want a night off at this point. Like I don't want to do anything tonight.
So yeah, the Rathlin Island part of this episode. The funny thing is, I don't really remember anything really about the investigation. I remember, like you said, the journey to the island, and the island is only what, like a mile, mile and a half out from. I think it's Ballantoy.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was clearly visible. Like you could see it. You could see the lighthouse. You could see all the things.
Right.
Just couldn't get there.
Yeah. So we drive to Ballantoy, Northern Ireland. It's in County Antrim. It's like as far as you can go. We were like 5 minutes away from the Giant's Causeway, which we didn't actually get to see.
No. We should have. We should have. We had the extra day. We should have went.
I know, and we went there during the springtime, which I think was our problem actually, because I think the sea at that time of the year is like really relentless, really really terrible whirlpools in the sea, and we got there and we were supposed to get onto this ferry with a couple of our picture vehicles. So it was a small car carrier, and the captain, which was like Captain Ahab, like seriously, the old man in the sea, kind of grizzled man, you know, someone that looks like he's seen things, you know?
Yeah, like a Scooby-Doo villain riding in a boat.
Right, and even he was like, nope, we're not going today, so... Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter what your filming schedule is, we're not going. And so we did. We had to hold up in like this last minute hotel. I think it was more like a motel.
Yeah.
And we had to wait the next day. And even the next day it was bad. But like our production typically did, when we needed something done, they would pay a little extra under the table.
Right, get it done.
And so I remember boarding this ferry, and the water was super rough. Mm-hmm. And we had the two picture vehicles. They were strapped down.
Yep.
And it was just the captain and his first mate. And I remember I was sicker than I think I've ever been sick before.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the only one.
No.
I remember Snapper, he was over
the side getting sick.
I think he was kicking out like his bowels. Like he was so sick.
It was awful.
And I remember looking up to the captain. And the captain had the face of like, we're going to die.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was so bad.
It was awful. I remember you were literally like green in like color, like that sick. I remember Snapper vomiting over the side, and I remember at one point the water tossed the tiny vessel so much that one of the straps had broken that was holding one of the axles of the picture vehicle, and it started to like slide on the deck. And I was like, I remember getting the life jacket on and thinking, well, this might be it. Like, I might just die here in the water in Ireland. It was really, like, out of all the things we did, I think that was the most dangerous thing that we had to do.
You know, I've had a lot of like terrible flights. I remember flying across the Tasman Sea in that little puddle jumper of a plane. Yeah. That was terrible. You know, we've had our moments, but a watery death, just, no good. You know. Yeah. And then the funny thing was, it's like we got there, we finally touched ground, and I was kissing the gravel. I was so happy. But the funny thing is, we were all like, felt like we were dying. And of course, I think it was Purcell, because Steve Purcell, like
Mega Man,
hang out of planes and like do all these crazy things. So he was totally like unmoved of the whole thing.
Right.
And he gets out the camera and he's like filming us, like disembarking the ferry. And meanwhile, I look like I've been dead a couple of years, you know, like it was bad.
It was.
We get there, and I think they had like 80 residents on this island. Like,
I didn't know if there was that many. I remember it was so tiny. It was very, very small place.
Yeah, I think because I remember because we were on the off season, I think like during the tourist time, like that's their cap. Like 80 people, not even, like I remember it was under 100 for the entire island. It's more like cattle, and they have like puffins. They have a puffin colony.
Yeah. I forgot about those.
Yeah. The manor house was like late 1700s, I think.
Hmm.
And the woman who owned it, I don't remember how she came to own it. I think she married some Irish guy, but
Yeah.
she wasn't Irish. She was from like Texas.
Yes. But not on camera. On camera, she was Irish.
She was sort of Irish, and I just remember Barry looking like, what are you
Oh,
doing?
here we are in Ireland, and we have a client from Texas with a fake friggin' Irish accent.
I think Barry's soul like just died a little on that one. She was kind of a tough one to work with. The manor house, I remember the sinks there because this was one that we had to stay there.
Stay there, yeah.
Us and the crew.
Mhm.
And I just remember being so frustrated because I had to share a bathroom with like some of the crew.
Yeah.
That still haunts me.
Well, because it's weird. Like when you're off camera and you're just like in your room, you just want your own stuff. But there was a couple of places where you'd have like shared bath facilities, and it's like, oh, okay.
That's one of the things. If you want to make Brandy feel very uncomfortable, it's making her share a bathroom with someone else.
I don't know if it was there or where it was, but it might have been there. My room had its own like bathroom, but then there was a door beyond that that went to the shower. But the shower was like a shared shower room, and there was just like a half wall in between. And I was in there showering one day, and Barry was on the other side. He comes in the other side of the wall. Like, just wait, just give me a couple minutes. And he's like playing music, and he's like, you know, his techno's on and all this stuff, and he's singing. I'm like, what is going on? So strange.
And something else that frustrates me, just a little side note, those sinks that have the separate spouts for the hot and cold, just put it in one. Just put it in one, please.
They couldn't do it there, no.
Oh my God. And that was literally one that you had to fill a basin up to just like wash your hands or to like brush your teeth, or it was very frustrating.
You're lucky you didn't have to go to like an outhouse or something.
Yeah, I suppose it could have been worse, but
always could be worse.
So all I remember is there was something about a claim of people hearing like wailing, and then they tried to play it off as being the banshee, and that was kind of like part of the story.
Yeah.
And then there was something, I just remember Barry was carrying coins, and like he used coins as like a trigger object for something, and I don't know what.
There was some type of like fae or elemental thing that he was using the coins for, and then we had to get like a saucer of cream. Oh, he kept saying creme. I'm like, what the heck do you want? Cream. He wanted a saucer of cream to put underneath the bed or at the foot of the bed to try to like lure in these beings or attract these little magical creatures or whatever they were supposed to be on the island.
Right. Now I remember. Yep.
Yeah. Do you remember the lighthouse thing? We went to the lighthouse like on our day off.
Yeah, vaguely.
But then he lost something, like his phone or something, and it showed up on the other side of the island.
I remember there was something odd that happened, but I couldn't remember exactly what it was. So yeah, now that you mention it.
Yeah, I think it was his phone. Like we went on like a day off adventure, then he can find his phone, and then he found it, but it was on the other side of the island at like a different location. And this is not a grand big island, but
so damn fairies.
Yeah, well, he kept tricking him with coins and cream. What do you expect? They don't like that kind of stuff.
I think that there was supposed to be some exorcism that happened there. I don't think it was an exorcism though of like a person. I think it was an actual expulsion for like the location.
For the building, yeah, the manor.
Right. That's kind of all I remember. I don't really remember a ton. I just remember the client wasn't really Irish.
Right. The
And
boat ride was
the
awful.
voyage there, I thought we were all going to die.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those were the highlights. That, a saucer of cream, a death boat ride. Yeah, it was pretty much it.
You know, sometimes I remember more about the things that had nothing to do with the case. And like, I remember because this was like an island in the middle of nowhere on off
Mhm.
season. So there weren't a ton of people around, not anything really to do. There was like one pub on the entire island, and it
Mhm.
was within walking distance to the manor house. And I just remember like it was either sit in your room where you had like no internet, no
No
TV,
TV,
no
nothing.
nothing.
Yeah.
And again, this was back when you had like dial up and like
If you were
yeah,
you were lucky, you had dial up.
you know, so it wasn't like you could just sit on your phone and, you know, play on
Yeah.
your app store, you know, like
Right.
that
Nothing.
didn't exist.
I,
Um,
I used to bring a portable DVD player. We talked before about the Atari system. I also had like a portable DVD player. Then I would just bring DVDs, so I had something to watch.
right. And so I just remember going down to the pub like almost every time, every night that we were there, only because that was kind of the only place you kind of socialize.
Don't make excuses, Brandy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was Rathlin Island in like April, so I'm not gonna lie.
You
Um,
had to celebrate the fact that you survived the boat ride.
no, yeah, but I mean, there really wasn't anything to do. And the manor house, you know, it was kind of like a castle in terms of like being cold and kind of just damp and just
Yeah, it was not. It was not nice.
no, it really wasn't. I mean, I hope that they've changed it since then, but based off of when we were there,
Yeah. 1 star would not go back.
not haunted.
Not haunted. Yeah, I remember there was like a scratchy EVP in one of the bedrooms or something. I remember that. For some reason, I remember seeing like it was on camera. I think I want to say it was on camera with Joe Chin sitting in one of the beds talking. I don't know if it was to Barry or myself, but other than that, I don't remember anything. The boat ride was the horrible boat ride was really the highlight.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Did we already talked about Ashley joining us, right? Or was this the episode that she joined us in?
I don't know.
Because I think I have pictures of her with us, and I think this may have been her first case with us.
I thought her first case with us was Castle Huska for some reason.
Well, it may have been the first case, but I don't think it aired that way.
First on TV. Yeah, yeah, that might be right.
I don't know. I just feel because we definitely don't have Angela anymore, and at this point we have Ashley. So I'm sorry if I can't. I think this is the one that she joined us in.
Right, as far as TV purposes go.
Right. Yeah. Because the upcoming episodes, I know you worked a lot with her.
I
And
would
the Castle Huska one is going to be fun to talk about.
so good.
So yeah, I think that kind of concludes this episode. It was a double not haunted.
Yeah.
Despite not really digging, you know, the actual manor house on Rathlin Island, I really loved Ireland, and I have to say, I think for me personally, I prefer Northern Ireland to like the Republic of Ireland, just because I feel like they're a little more authentic. They don't cater to the tourists.
Right. Except for the lady with the fake accent. Other than that,
Well, she herself was an American, so she doesn't count.
it doesn't count. Indeed. I think I would agree, though. I enjoyed it. Out of all the towns that I remember being in, Sligo was my favorite one in Ireland that I ever visited. That was actually when I was still with Ghost Hunters, I think. I remember going to Sligo at one time. But yeah, Ireland's just a great country overall. You know, really nice indeed. But yeah, double not haunted, forever birthday, boat ride from hell. Good times.
So on that note, I think that concludes this episode.
That's right. Better times to come, though. We have some fun in some of the next coming up cases. So
Oh yeah, we got a guy with a cape.
yeah, a cape. Cape, he was on horseback at one time. He had 2 dogs and he had 1 dog. Oh boy. The
All right,
best.
until next time.
Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Rathlin Island, fine enough.
I remember a lot of getting to Rathlin Island. I remember adventures on Rathlin Island. I remember staying there. I don't remember really much of the case going.
No.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Was this a double not haunted?
Yeah. Yep. And the client at Rathlin Island was not happy. She had such an attitude problem like the whole time. So skeleton in the closet, Cesky Krumlov, and then Rathlin Island.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna pick him up and try to do this, and then he's gonna go away, I'm sure, after like a minute.
That's all right.
Come here. Come here. Don't look at me that way. I know you. You're not very social. Don't be that way. Be a good boy.
Give him the business, Brandy.
My antisocial dog.
Oh. I wonder how you two found each other.